A long drought had turned the vast landscape into a canvas of brown and yellow. The once lush grasses were brittle, and the trees stood bare, their leaves long gone. While most of the park was barren, a thin ribbon of green still clung to the banks of a river, a fragile promise of life in a dying land. The mother was a picture of vigilance. Her ears swiveled, her trunk tasted the air, and her eyes missed nothing. When they reached the riverbank, the sight of fresh green shoots brought a moment of relief. The calf, full of youthful energy, eagerly used its clumsy little trunk to pull at the grass. It splashed in the shallow water, squeaking with delight, completely unaware of any peril. The mother grazed nearby, her powerful body relaxed, but her senses on high alert. Her long life had taught her that the river was a fickle friend, its calm surface often hiding a wild heart. Miles away, in the distant mountains, a storm had unleashed its fury. The elephants, grazing peacefully, were oblivious to the downpour. But the river knew. It began to swell, its clear waters turning murky and brown. The gentle current quickened its pace, transforming into a restless, powerful force. Birds that had been perched on the banks took flight in a sudden flurry. Small mammals scurried away from the water's edge, sensing the impending danger. The mother elephant lifted her massive head, a deep unease settling over her. Something was terribly wrong. Drawn by thirst, the calf stepped closer to the churning water. In an instant, its small feet slipped on the slick, muddy bank. The powerful current seized the small body, pulling it away from the shore. The calf's terrified trumpets echoed across the water, a desperate plea for its mother. She watched in horror as the brown water tossed her calf about like a toy, pulling it further and further downstream. The calf struggled valiantly, its little legs kicking against an unbeatable foe, but its strength was fading fast. The river's rage intensified with every passing second. The calf was growing tired, its head barely staying above the swirling water. It was a moment of absolute despair, the final, terrifying seconds before the river claimed its prize. In that last, desperate moment, the mother made a choice born of pure, instinctual love. With a defiant roar, she charged into the furious, swollen river. The force of the water was immense, a battering ram against her huge body. Thick, sucking mud grabbed at her legs, trying to pull her down. But her will was stronger than the river's might. She was not just an elephant. She was a mother on a mission. The current tore them apart. She tried again, her entire being focused on that one single purpose. Now began the true battle. With every ounce of her colossal strength, she pulled and pushed, leaning into the current, fighting for every inch. She was a mountain of determination, a force of nature in her own right, refusing to let her child be taken from her. Slowly, painfully, she battled her way back to the bank. Step by agonizing step, she dragged herself and her precious cargo from the river's grasp. With one final, monumental effort, she heaved the calf onto the safety of dry land. The little one lay motionless, a small, still form on the muddy ground. The mother's heart stood still, and then a twitch, a small movement. He was alive. She immediately began to tend to him, her trunk a gentle, probing instrument of comfort. She caressed his body, nudging him, checking for injuries, wrapping him in a loving embrace that spoke volumes. Slowly, shakily, the calf rose to its feet and pressed itself against her enormous leg, seeking the warmth and security only she could provide. They were together. They were safe. The river roared on, its floodwaters still raging, but for this one family, the crisis had passed. Nature, in all its brutal unpredictability, had also revealed its capacity for breathtaking courage and profound love. The mother gently guided her calf away from the treacherous river. They moved slowly, the little one now sticking to her side like glue, his earlier playfulness replaced by a new, hard-won understanding of the world. He had learned a powerful lesson about the river, a lesson that would stay with him for the rest of his life. This incredible moment, captured in the heart of Kruger, serves as a powerful reminder for us all. It reminds us that nature is a force beyond our control, that the very elements that give life can also take it away in an instant. But most of all, it reminds us of a universal truth, that a mother's love knows no bounds. Another day was done. Tomorrow would bring its own trials and its own triumphs. But for today, in the great theatre of the wild, love had won. Thanks for watching.